Is this the best sneaker release of 2023? Let's find out. So it's not even 2023 yet, and I know that sounds stupid to say. There's a whole year of sneaker releases that have yet to come, some of which we don't even know about yet. But out of all of the 2023 Jordan brand releases, which we actually know about a lot of them already because Jordan Brand's already told us about a lot of them, I have trouble believing that anything is going to be as good as this pair of Air Jordan 3 White Cement Reimagined. I mean, we haven't even had an actual retro of the Air Jordan 3 White Cement since 2013, which was 10 years ago. So the fact that Jordan Brand is bringing back one of their most iconic colorways on one of their most iconic silhouettes is something to get excited about, and definitely long overdue. But before we dive any farther into the video, I want to give a huge thank you to the sponsor, Whatnot, and also tell you guys how you can win this pair of Air Jordan 3 Reimagined before they even release. So I'm sure by now, if you've been watching my channel, you've heard of Whatnot. Whatnot is a live auction shopping platform that has sneaker auctions 24 hours a day, starting as low as just $1. And one of the things that I absolutely love about Whatnot, besides their super fast shipping, is the fact that when you're buying something on the platform, you can actually see all angles of the item, and you can ask the seller questions about the item that you're buying live. Plus, if you sign up for Whatnot using my link in the top of the description below, you get $10 towards your first purchase, which means you can save $10 on anything on the platform if you sign up using my link. And in my upcoming live stream, I'm actually giving away this pair of Air Jordan 3s, plus a bunch of other awesome sneakers like the We The Best 5s and of course the eBay Dunks. So if you want to win this pair of Air Jordan 3 Reimagined for yourself, make sure to click the link in the top of the description below and bookmark my giveaway live stream. Because I mean, let's be real, as awesome as this sneaker is, it's even more awesome to get this sneaker for free. However, if you decide not to tune into my live stream and you want to grab this shoe in the conventional way, this shoe officially drops on the Nike Sneakers app on March 11th, 2023 for a retail price of $210. Which, yes, $210 for a pair of Air Jordan 3s is definitely expensive. However, there are some changes that were made to this shoe that I think might not justify the expense completely, but will make you feel better about spending $210 on this pair of shoes. But I mean, let's be real, if you're used to spending resale price for sneakers like I am, because I never hit in the sneakers app, $210 is not bad because this shoe will probably resell for a decent amount. But before we get any farther into the sneaker itself, let's first take a look at the box. So I know usually when I show you boxes of upcoming sneakers like Air Jordan 3s, the boxes tend to look like other pairs of upcoming Air Jordan 3s. However, this time around, Jordan Brand decided to change things up, which I love. So like with the lost and found Jordan 1s, Jordan Brand decided to make this shoe look like it had been stored in storage for a while, presumably since 1988 when the Jordan 3 first released. Now the way that they went about doing that is by artificially aging the edges of the box, basically just by printing white on the corners of the box, and it actually does make a surprisingly large difference when it comes to making this box look older, even though it's just a printed detail and it's a brand new box. Of course, on the top of the box, you've got the Jumpman printed in bright red. On either side of the lid, you've got the Nike Air logo printed in red, and then the bottom half of the box comes in this dark elephant print. Now, unfortunately, as you guys can see, I was only able to grab a size 10.5. I'm usually a size 9, but because I grabbed a size 10.5, I'm able to give this pair away to one of you guys. However, I did try the shoe on for the try-on portions of this video. I can't give you exact sizing advice for this particular colorway just because I've never tried on a pair in my size. However, from what I've heard, this shoe fits very similar to the Fire Red 3s that just released earlier this year, so we'll take sizing based off of that shoe. But hey, we're not at that point in the video yet, so let's continue on with the packaging. One of my favorite details about the packaging of this shoe is this booklet that's made to look like the original booklet that came with Air Jordan 3s. And what's inside this booklet are the tech specs of the original shoe. Obviously, these tech specs aren't new. We're on the Jordan 50th at this point. We're not in the Jordan 50th. Well, at some point, if you're watching this video and we're on the Jordan 50th, there you go. But right now we're on the Jordan 38th or 39th. I don't remember exactly what number we're on because it changes every single year. But at this point, tech has advanced a lot since 1988. And so having two Air units in the midsole, while still fine for lifestyle wear, is not really that groundbreaking when it comes to basketball performance. That said, it is still cool that Jordan Brand decided to include this booklet because it's a nice throwback to 1988. So as I said at the beginning of this video, I think this shoe is definitely a contender for Sneaker of the Year 2023. And a lot of you guys are saying that's crazy to say, it's not even 2023 yet. And while yes, I completely get that, at the same time, you have to understand the history behind this shoe. First of all, the Air Jordan 3 is the shoe that convinced Michael Jordan to stay with Jordan Brand. If it wasn't for this shoe, he would have left and maybe gone to somewhere like Adidas. The story goes that Michael was really not a fan of the Air Jordan 2 and was planning to break contract after that sneaker because he just didn't see a future with Jordan Brand. However, Tinker Hatfield came along from Nike and actually designed the Air Jordan 3. And as you can see, Tinker Hatfield's vision for the Air Jordan 3 and the Jordan brand line was gorgeous. I mean, look at the Air Jordan 3 and look at the sneakers that Tinker Hatfield designed after these shoes. It was this and the future possibilities of Jordan brand that kept Michael Jordan with Jordan brand, and that's why we have these iconic sneakers today, all because of Tinker Hatfield. And of course, the Air Jordan 3, and the white cement colorway is one of the original colorways to ever release. Not only that, Michael Jordan also had that incredible free throw line dunk, which is one of the most insane things to ever happen in basketball, and all of that happened in the white cement Air Jordan 3s. So not only is the silhouette of the Air Jordan 3 special, but also this colorway, not just because it's the first Air Jordan 3 colorway, but also because of the history that was made in this shoe. So yes, I might be biased in thinking that the Air Jordan 3 is already sneaker of the year, but it's because I just love this shoe and I love the history of basketball and Michael Jordan. And this shoe really embodies that. But why don't we dive into the upper of this shoe and find out what materials make up the Air Jordan 3 White Cement Reimagined. So like the Fire Red 3s that released in 2022, the Air Jordan 3 Reimagineds were redesigned to look just like the 1988 version of the shoe, meaning that the patterns for the upper of this shoe were recut in order to actually mimic the shape of the original Air Jordan 3 silhouette. Because as we all know with sneakers, as time goes along, the shape of the shoe slowly changes and morphs, and it's been, a couple decades since this shoe came out, and because of that, the new shape of the Air Jordan 3, or the shape that we've become used to, is not exactly the same as the shape of the 1988 Air Jordan 3. And so what they're trying to accomplish with this version of the shoe is to create a shoe that's just like the original. They did of course take some creative liberties, like artificially aging the midsole and different details of the shoe, and of course artificially aging the box, but at the same time, it kind of all adds to the story and the history of the Air Jordan 3. Starting off around the toe of the sneaker, you've got this light gray elephant print mudguard, and as you guys can probably tell, the elephant print is a little bit thinner than we've become used to, and that's because this elephant print is designed to mimic the 1988 elephant print. Then, continuing up on the shoe, you've got this white leather panel around the bottom half of the upper, and just above that, you've got this very lightly tumbled leather panel that runs from the toe of the sneaker all the way around to the heel. Now, I'm not gonna lie, this leather doesn't feel incredible. It's not the best leather in the world. At the same time, it's not awful. It's just kind of run-of-the-mill Jordan brand leather, and unfortunately, at this point, that's all we can really expect. Continuing up on the shoe, you get to one of the iconic white cement details, and that, of course, are these 5 red lace eyelets. There's actually not a huge amount of red on this sneaker. Obviously, it's primarily white, black, and gray shoe, but you do have some nice red hits here on the eyelets, here on the Jumpman, and of course, behind the tongue. And even though they're small, they do make a pretty big difference and really make this shoe a lot more recognizable than just an all white and gray Air Jordan 3 would be. Then, weaving through these eyelets, you've got these flat white laces, and unfortunately, in this package, you don't get a second set of laces, and just up from these red eyelets that we just talked about, you get to these artificially aged, sort of cream-colored plastic eyelets. A detail that I'm not gonna lie, I was not in love with initially, but now seeing the shoe in hand, it doesn't bother me as much as I thought it would. I still don't love it. I would have preferred the white of the original shoe, but it's not a big deal, and I guess it adds to the story of the shoe being tucked away for, however many years. Then moving towards the top of the tongue, you've got this very smooth white leather with that embroidered Jumpman that I just talked about. On either side of the tongue, you've got these black inset plastic eyelets, which add another hit of contrast on the upper of the shoe, which I really like. And then moving inside the sneaker, on the back of the tongue, like I mentioned, you've got this red fabric, and then finishing off the sock liner of the shoe, you've got this soft white fabric. Rounding off the inside of the shoe, you've got this bright red insole with Nike Air printed on the heel in black, and I guess that's actually a red hit that I forgot to mention, but realistically, when you're wearing this shoe, you're not gonna see it. But now let's get to sizing and fit, and like I mentioned before, this shoe unfortunately is a size 10.5. I was able to throw it on for the on-foot portion of this video because of course it's gonna fit. I'm a size and a half smaller, but at the same time, I don't want to give you exact sizing advice off of this shoe because I've never worn this shoe in my size. However, like I said before, I have worn the Fire Red 3s, which are cut just like this shoe, and because of that, they should fit just like this shoe. So with that shoe, I definitely recommend going true to size, and that's what I'm gonna recommend for the White Cement Reimagined 3s. This shoe is definitely a shoe that I personally will be buying in a size 9, my true size. If you had the chance to try this shoe on first before you buy it, I would recommend doing that just to make sure that you're grabbing the right size for you. Continuing back in the shoe, you've got some more white leather on the midfoot, you've got some perforated white leather around the top of the ankle, and then moving towards the heel, you've got some more elephant print that actually wraps all the way around the back of the shoe. Again, it's the new-ish elephant print that's slightly thinner than some of the, I guess, older elephant prints, even though this is based off of the oldest elephant print, and it looks really nice on this shoe, and it definitely gives you those 1988 vibes. Then moving around to the heel of the shoe, you get to another one of the artificially aged details with this cream-colored heel tab. And of course, just like on the original 1988 Air Jordan 3s, you've got that Nike Air branding in black, which I think looks amazing on the heel. Then moving down on the shoe, you get to the iconic Air Jordan 3 midsole, this time around in that aged cream color, which I know I keep saying this, but initially I really didn't like it. I felt like it was a little cheesy, but the more that I look at it, the more that I'm like, yeah, it's alright. Of course, moving towards the back of the midsole, you've got this visible air unit and this black kit that wraps all the way around the back of the sneaker. And then finally moving to the bottom of the sneaker, you've got a pretty standard Air Jordan 3 outsole that comes in a light gray with red hits on the toe and on the heel. However, this outsole does differ from a standard pair of White Cement 3s because the white on the outsole is of course not a standard white, it's more of a off-white cream color. So overall, I know it's early, it's still 2022, but the Air Jordan 3 White Cement Reimagined, or the Air Jordan 3 Reimagined, is one of the shoes that I'm looking forward to more than any other shoe in 2023. In my opinion, right now, without knowing all of the sneaker releases of 2023, I think this could be sneaker of the year. This is one of the most iconic sneakers of all time, and we're getting it back after 10 years, and I'm so excited. I mean, sure, we had the free throw lines, but realistically, that wasn't a White Cement. Sure, we had the Justin Timberlakes, but again, not a White Cement. This is an actual White Cement 3, and it's so nice to have this shoe back. But hey, I would love to know your thoughts on this sneaker and whether you plan to grab a pair of these when they officially release on March 11th, 2023. Also, don't forget to check out my Whatnot live stream where you can win this pair or many other pairs of sneakers for free, so make sure to click that link in the description below. And as always, thank you all so much for watching, and I will see you all in the next one.